Men, welcome to what I would call the everything you need to know about the Barbarian Games 2026. I know we've teased a little bit about it, but there's still some questions out there, and today I have the one and only Ranger with me,
Yeah.
and he's going to answer all of the questions that we might have. Because it's going to look a little different this year. So we're going to try to get through every question that we could possibly get through. And if you have more questions, then just leave them in the comments for us, and Ranger or somebody from MA will address those. So, Ranger, let's talk about it.
All right.
So, most people that are watching this probably know what the Men's Alliance Barbarian Games is, but you tell us in your words what we're doing here.
Right. So the Barbarians games is a little different this year. So we've ran the first and second games locally here in Richmond, Virginia. So this year we're taking it global to the regions because we want all tribesmen to be a part of this. So the Men's Alliance Barbarian Games is a Men's Alliance fitness competition only. So only tribesmen can be a part of this. All right. And what it is two-man teams, and you go in here and you have to train to be physically fit, right? Which we live by our creed, but also spiritually fit, right? So Men's Alliance Fitness is not just about strength and endurance, but it's also about having scripture written on your heart. And so
Yep.
that is what this emphasizes. So it gives the average dad athlete out there, right? Like myself, I'm not a pro athlete, but I'm an average dad athlete.
Yeah.
And anybody else that is really just trying to get back into their fitness lifestyle. Like maybe they was athlete back in, high school and they missed the good old days and they really want to have something to strive for again.
That's right.
So it's for those men out there that want a fresh new competition, but it's something that is not focused on just idolizing yourself, but well, one, you get to be a part of a team because you have a partner, and then two, the main one is it's Christ-centered focus
Yep.
through the entire games. So,
Nice. That's awesome. All right. So, yeah, kind of hit the purpose a little bit. So, who can participate in the Barbarian Games?
so Barbarian Games are for tribesmen only, and it can be 13 years old to, Methuselah, right? So if you live that long, you could be a part of the games, but you got to be at least 13 and you have to be biological male.
Okay. So, active tribesman registered to a tribe and 13 plus
Correct.
biological male.
That's correct.
Awesome. All right, so let's walk through the structure of this year's games.
All right. So the structure. First things first, let's talk about age group, okay? So you have teams of two no matter what, all right? There's no isolation in the games. You have two different divisions. You have a warrior division, which is a combined age of the two guys, the team, under 100 years old.
Okay.
And then if they are 100 years or older, then they will be in what's called the seasoned warrior division, right?
Yep.
Because we got to give the old guys a chance,
That's
right?
right.
It's just not fair that the young guys can kill them all the time. So we actually implemented that last year, and it worked out great. So Goat and Rodeo dominated that one. But two different divisions. And now there's always three heats, okay? And what that means is you have Heat 1, which is going to be a universal heat. We're going to keep that the same every year. We started that heat in Heat 2 last year, and that one was that's our stamp, right? To move on to Heat 2. So that is always going to be the same. Heat 1, and you can, by the way, you can find all these on the rules and reg link
Yeah,
on
we
the
can put it on the
website.
screen too of this. Yeah.
And so you have Heat 1, which you have to complete within 7 minutes. And then season is 9.
Okay.
And then Heat 2 is a different type of format exercise. It's a circuit relay where you do certain exercises 30 yards and back. Same thing, 15-minute time frame for the warrior division and then 17 for the season. And then Heat 3 is a little bit different type of relay, circuit relay, but it's also 50 yards and not 30 like Heat 2. And then you have the first team wins, or first team finishes wins Heat 3. So only you can have as many teams as you want for Heat 1 to sign up. Now, depends on how many graders you have at the regional games that's hosting it. So if you have a certain amount of graders that can only hold 15 teams going at group one, or I'm sorry, wave one, then you would just do increments. So you would have, let's say you have 30 teams signed up, then you would do heat one, wave one, and then wave two.
Wave two, yeah.
Right. So, but if you have a regional director that only, a regional region that only has 5 teams show up,
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy peasy, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing. So because we're doing it by regions, it's a little different this year. So how it works is they are going to go through the motion no matter what. So what I mean by that is that if they only have, so only 20 teams from the Warrior Division move on to Heat 2. Only 10 teams from the Season Warrior Division go to Heat 2. Okay. Now, if they have less than that in Heat 1, let's say they only have 10 and 5, right, in the 2 different divisions, they get to keep competing all the way through.
Okay.
But their times will be recorded, right? Yeah. And they will be annotated up the chain to the MA Fitness team.
Okay.
And then we will categorize them and then put them with all the other regions and then see who made what. Yeah. Right? But if, for example, you have regional, probably Pennsylvania or Virginia, it's going to have more than 20 teams. Yeah. Let's say they have 40 sign up in that region. Well, only 20 are going to Heat 2. Okay. And then only 6 go to Heat 3.
Gotcha.
So that's how that works.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And where will the games be happening? I guess the regional leaders will let the tribes know.
So if you look down here, question number 8.
Okay.
How the regional leaders are going to be involved, highly involved. As a matter of fact, they are the ones that's going to help us make this new fire happen. Yeah. Right. So this is something that there's no other fitness competition in the world that is like ours. And it's going to be so focused on Christ, right? The entire thing is just that's why we should stay fit.
Right.
It's not for self-pleasure, right? Although it feels good, and I think God created us that way. But the regional leaders are going to be a part of this journey. Now, they don't have to host it themselves, right? Okay. One of the key things of our leadership guide is to delegate, and that's not failing, right? That's leadership. So if the regional leaders cannot host it themselves, then they will just find somebody that really wants to be a part of this journey to lead it. So they will pick a time and place. The dates we opened up the games will be August 15th to September 15th. Okay. And they just pick a day in that between that month and time. They register it, it's locked and loaded, and then they just send it out to their regions. Okay. Now, so regional leaders are going to be they're the backbone of this. Without them, it won't work. But if they do have a satellite tribe, right? Let's say we got Alaska, let's say, or Hawaii, right? Let's say they have somebody competing. Well, the satellite tribes, they just have to do it on their own. Okay. So if they can just find somebody to host it and be the graders, they can do it on their own. So we're not gonna leave anybody out if we can. And
so if a tribe has to do it on their own, like a satellite tribe, would somebody just record it? I guess for
correct.
Proof. Okay.
Yeah. So and we'll work those logistics. Yeah. This is a building constant.
Yeah, this is the first time we're doing it, so yeah, be a lot of learning.
Yes, a lot of learning. But I want people to just be able to compete, right? Yeah. All tribesmen. I don't want to be central focused, where it's just Virginia all the time. Yeah. So I just want to have everybody a part of something that they can try to compete for. So to your question, regional leaders are going to be highly involved, and they are going to be the backbone of this journey. So.
Gotcha. That's awesome. All right, let's talk about some challenges. So what kind of challenges can competitors expect to get into in this year's games?
All right, so the challenges for this year's games, a lot of cinder brick work, or cinder block, sorry, I should say. I was doing some last night with my tribe, and you really get tore up. So this is not for the weak, I tell you that. Yeah. Another guy was worse than me. But, cinder blocks are going to be heavily used again. And then you have, of course, traditional sledgehammers will be in heat 3. You also have a gallon of water, right? So we had water last year in our heat 3, and that was fun.
Yeah.
But of course, not everybody has a lake now, right? So we had to dial that back a little bit to make it universal. So we did very minimal equipment just so we could get as much participation as possible.
Yeah. Because everybody, most of this stuff, everybody should have.
Correct.
And then if they don't, it's relatively cheap to
I mean, if you think
obtain.
about it, yeah. So for you only need about 20 cinder blocks, maybe 30. And then heat 3 is where you only need 6 sledgehammers, right? Because it's just 6 teams that make it.
Yep.
And then you need 6 tires, right? But you also need 6 of the meat, or just regular tires too.
Yeah.
Which we have the size measurements on the regional, the link, the rules and regs.
Okay.
So all that's everything you have questions on, like it should be in the rules and regs. If it doesn't, you can, email the MA Fitness team,
Yep.
myself, Renaissance, and Forge, Oklahoma.
Cool.
But yeah.
Awesome. We've already hit on this a little bit, but I guess in your words, how do the Barbarian games build brotherhood within Men's Alliance?
So that's a good question. It's kind of no different than Tribe,
Yep.
right? We don't bond. I mean, you can bond a little bit over coffee cake, right? Who doesn't like a little cookie crumble, right?
Yeah.
But men really, they bond when they go through something that's
Shared physical struggle.
Yep. And one, so you take something like the high rocks, right? Which is great. Don't get me wrong. And you're pushing each other, but this one is even more so because you're pushing them spiritually. I mean, you have to know all the 12 Bible verses, the 12 monthly Bible verses, plus a couple extra that we've added in this year.
Yeah.
So if you've never done the games, and if you've never actually truly pushed yourself beyond limit and tried to say memory verses, this is a true challenge. So the first games we had, one of the guys was very, very good at memory verses. It took him a minute to recall Ephesians 2:8-9.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. So you think you have the memory verses locked and loaded, but when you're actually stressing,
Losing oxygen. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But again, it all dials it back down to, it keeps your focus on Christ when you have to say Bible verses every few reps or every few laps, right?
Yeah.
So it takes the onus of like, why I'm doing this is more than just yourself.
Yeah,
So.
Absolutely. And yeah, that kind of walks right into my next question. What makes the Barbarian Games different from other fitness competitions? Obviously the spiritual aspect, but is there anything else on that?
No, that is going to be your biggest. Well, one is simplicity. Okay. So you have a lot of, if you look at other fitness competitions, they grow, which is great. Not knocking them at all, but they're very, I guess you would say, specific, because you have to use certain equipment for those trainings. To where this is just tribe focused training, right? Everything in the Barbarian Games, you could do at Tribe. So you can do the game, you can actually do the heats at your tribe if you wanted to, just to train, to get the other men involved. They might try, like, I think I could do this, right?
So all the workouts are posted.
All the workouts are posted, and they're on the website.
Yeah,
and
practice right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. And then too, it's like you already said it, the scripture aspect. So there's no other competition like it, right? You have athletes that are, Christ followers, but majority of those big fitness competitions are not Christ centered, right? They're very they become idolized. You take your shirt off, you want to get photos, so it's very self centered. And this is to keep everyone focused on what it really matters.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Cool. Well, what, I guess in your words, what does it take mentally and physically to compete in the Barbarian Games 2026?
Well, this one is pretty much, just like any other competition. So between like resiliency, endurance, teamwork is a big one, and consistency. So that's really the main thing, is not wanting to quit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen so much good. Like I remember the first games, one of the young guys came up. He's like, "Yeah, this is the first time I knew all the memory verses."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I learned Hebrews 12, 1 and 2, which is our longest one." He learned that in 2 days,
Yeah.
and he didn't get any of the verses wrong. So that is dedication.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you think physical competition, and it's easy to be like, oh, I'm not like physically ready for that, or mentally sharp enough for that. But I mean, I've seen some people that objectively I'd look at and be like, I can't imagine that you would sign up for this, but
Yeah.
they just get out there and get after it,
Yeah.
and they got the dog in them, and then
Yeah.
they know all the verses, and I mean, we can push ourselves more than we think we can.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I would highly encourage anybody that wants to
Yeah.
step up for this.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess lastly, man, like what is the impact that you've seen from these barbarian games? Like what is the impact on a man after he completes these games?
So that is a good question, because you have different answers.
Yeah.
Last year, Bonsai,
Mhm.
he's in I think they competed in they did the seasoned warrior division,
Mhm.
but they literally jumped in last minute.
Yeah.
Him and
I
his
remember
brother-in-law,
that. Yeah.
and that was his brother-in-law's first anything with Men's
Yeah.
Alliance, and
Sure
he
was.
did the Barbarian games.
Mhm.
So Bonsai and him did it, said the verses and, did all the heats, right? They
Yeah.
did heat 3 as well. So that was really cool. But then you had, so Doc and Meat, who won the very first games, their biggest take back was the challenge of memorizing scripture.
Yeah.
So not only learning the scripture, but learning it under stress.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I've always kind of emphasized that it's like when you put that in real life, right? When you're stressed at work,
Yeah.
right? Stressed at home, right? If you're able to pop out those memory verses while being stressed and fatigued, like that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think. And then Clutch, he said that he left physically empty but spiritually full.
Yeah.
So I thought
That's a
that
great
was
way to put it.
that's pretty
Yeah.
easy to remember. So I really like that. Physically empty and spiritually full.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I've been there for, I guess, 2 of them. Or no, I was there for last year at the national rally,
Right.
and I mean, yeah, just watching them come across the finish line. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's just like they finally finished it. But I mean, you can almost see the physically empty but spiritually full
Yes.
like mentality that they
Yeah.
have just up here. So yeah, no, that's awesome, man. So I think that's all the questions. I think we hit all the points that we needed to. But again, if y'all have any more questions about the Barbarian games, they're coming quick. Coming in August, starting in August. When do regionals need to be registered by?
That's a good question. So we're cutoff date is going to be August 1st.
Okay.
So I guess the last day of July.
Okay.
July 31st, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. 31. Yeah.
So July 31st, it'll be the cutoff date for registration.
Okay.
And that'll give us a 15-day window for logistics, paperwork, or whatever. But we'll cut off at the last day of July, and then the games start on the 15th, between the 15th of August and September 15th. And then once they're done, everybody will have all the submissions to the fitness team. We'll review everything. Heat 3 has to be recorded, so we'll watch some videos, which will be epic.
That'll be awesome, yeah.
And then we'll make sure everything's done. But basically, a lot of this will come down to the graders, lots of integrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which we all should have and live by. So no worries on there, because I know we have some great leaders in Men's Alliance. So integrity focused, and then, yeah, that's really it. Looking forward to the games, man. It's going to be, it's a little stressful because it's like
a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that you're having to rely on, but I'm not too worried about that. God's going to use them, and God, as God's done everything with Men's Alliance, He's going to continue to use it for His glory.
That's
so I'm really excited about this, and I hope, just like we challenge men on the disciple side, I hope we could continue to push them on the fitness side as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're spiritually healthy but physically broke, how can you go out there and share the gospel?
That's right.
Right. So
Yep.
it's always been my passion, man. So I appreciate you doing this,
Yeah.
and look forward to all the people that are going to be signing up, man.
Yeah, it's going to be epic, man. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
cool.
Awesome.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks.
This isn't just another competition. This is the Men's Alliance Barbarian Games. In a world full of fitness events, chasing ego trophies and bragging rights, we built something different. This is a proving ground for men who want more than strength in their body. They want strength in their spirit. Every event pushes your limits. Every challenge tests your resolve. But what makes these games unlike anything else on the planet is that God is woven into every step of the journey. This is the only fitness competition that doesn't just allow scripture. It mandates it. You don't advance by muscle alone. You advance by knowing the word, by speaking it, by standing on it when you're exhausted, under pressure, and tempted to quit. We train our bodies as warriors, but we sharpen our minds and souls as disciples. This isn't about being the strongest man in the room. It's about becoming the man God is calling you to be. Brotherhood, discipline, faith under fire. The Men's Alliance Barbarian Games, where iron sharpens iron, and everything we do glorifies God. Are you ready to step into the arena?